go over descriptive statistics, including measures of center, measures of variation, and some box plots. So for this, we're going to use this health exam results dataset. And you can just see that they have the ages, heights, weights, blood pressures, all those types of things for all of these people who took health exams. And it's split by male and female to see all of our differences here. So whenever you're doing descriptive statistics, for finding measures of center, variation, those kind of things, you'll want to use the describing and exploring quantitative variables. So we're going to go into there. And you can see these have some data sets in here already to look at your data sets. And it gives you the different descriptive statistics at the top here. So the mean and the median, those would be your measures of center. And then our measures of variation, we'd have our standard deviation here. If you wanted to get the variance, you could square that to get the variance. And also the IQR, what the IQR is the distance of this box. So it's Q3 minus Q1. That's what our IQR is. So if you want to put in your own data set, you're going to go into your own. And say we wanted to look at our different blood pressures. So what you would do is you would copy in the blood pressures. If you hit Command Shift down or Control Shift down if you have a Windows computer, and then Control C or Command C if you have a Mac, what you'll do is copy and paste that in to our app. So we're looking at blood pressure. So we were looking at the systolic blood pressure, so we'll call that the same thing. So that's what our variable is, and you can see that the average of all of our blood pressures is 114, and the median is 112. So you would use the mean when the data is centered. The median is better to use if we have skewed data. So for instance, this one has these data points out here pulling it up a bit, but you can see they're still pretty close with our mean and median. So for standard deviation, that's how spread apart they are. So they're spread apart by about 12.4. And then we have the IQR. So again, that is the third quartile minus the first quartile. These quartiles mean 25% of the data would be below Q1, and 75% of the data would be below Q3. So that's our IQR. So looking at the box plot down here, this will show us the median. So the median is in the middle. The bottom 25% would be less than 107. The bottom 75% would be below 121. And then you have your min and your max. So this would make that 5-number summary. And the outliers are appearing up here. Those are our outliers that you can also see in the histogram. Now, if you wanted to compare two different groups, instead of just looking at the overall systolic blood pressure, we can compare male and female systolic blood pressure by going into several groups. So what we're going to do, again, is pick our own. And we want a male group and we want a female group. And again, we're looking at the systolic blood pressure. And then we're just going to copy in the male data here and the female data here. So if we go back, we want to see, okay, which ones are the males? We'll just drag down and copy all of the male data and put that into our mailbox. And then we're going to go down and we'll copy and paste the female data and put that into the female box. And you can see that it gives us, now it splits them to compare the means to the two. You can see that the males had higher systolic blood pressure, and both the mean and the median. You can see with the box plots, the IQR, that inner 50% is going to be higher for the males than it is for the females. Both groups had one high outlier for each of them. And you can see that the female data is more spread out, so that they have a higher standard deviation because they're more spread out. And that is pretty much it for these. If you had more groups, you can put up the number of groups. If you wanted to see histograms, you can put them in histograms. And you can still see that majority down here for women, more higher for men. And that is how you do descriptive statistics using the data analysis tool.